ice. This is what winter in America feels like.
Our names are on that list.
Yes, hello, this is Carrie. Pick up who? I'm just supposed to help them find jobs.
You must be the guys from Somalia, Senegal,
Sudan.
Did your luggage come down the chute? Great.
Where is your husband?
No, I'm not married. I provide for myself.
Your survival skills are very impressive.
Thanks. I'll call you tomorrow morning and we'll start the job hunt. I need your help.
Are there any dangerous animals in this area?
Such as?
Lions.
No, there's no lions here. You're safe. What's their story, anyway?
I'm not sure. They seem pretty traumatized.
Made my way to the borderline.
I had 34 brothers and sisters, and they all died but one.
And she need to be here with us.
You don't have an appointment.
Who do I have to screw around here to see an immigration supervisor?
Me.
Thanks, Cupcake.
That's gonna be a problem. All flights from the Kakuma refugee camp have been stopped.
Since 9/11, the program here is stopped indefinitely.
She's a child refugee of war.
You sure you're ready to take this on?
Definitely.
You're being asked to make choices no one should have to make.
I don't think they're gonna make it if they're not together.
I will pray for you, ERD.
ERD?
It is a special name for you. It means great white cow.
Well, it's better than a lot of things I've been called.
Holy crap! You can't just break into somebody's house!
There is a reason you do not have a husband.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think I'd be more excited about this movie if it wasn't such a blatant ripoff of The Blind Side. I mean, I know that's supposed to be a selling point here from the executive producer of The Blind Side, but it looks like that person could only make one type of movie. They cut and paste the exact same story structure and have just applied it to a slightly different situation. It's actually a very different situation, but the way the story is being told, it seems like the same setup. Even to the point where you have Reese Witherspoon's character yelling at a government employee on the behalf of these people she's trying to help, just as Sandra Bullock famously did in The Blind Side. I just can't believe that they would copy a film to that degree and then stick that film's name on the trailer to be like, hey, in case you weren't already thinking about The Blind Side, here's a reminder. Reese Witherspoon seems to have very bad luck these days with film projects. I know she's trying very hard to turn her career around. I mean, she's an Oscar winner, obviously. She had a real high point there for a while, Legally Blonde, and then, of course, Walk the Line, but she seems to really be stuck in a rut, and I don't think this movie's going to get her out of it, which is a shame, because I really like certain aspects of it. Now, I think there's a lot to be told of the new stories of immigration into this country. Of course, we've really explored in film and in novels and in general all the immigrants who came through Ellis Island. A very crucial point in the American history. If you've never been to Ellis Island, I highly recommend it. They have a wonderful museum there, and it's a lot of fascinating stories came out of that era. And you know, a lot of immigrants were very influential in the building of this country. You know, we're the melting pot. And people are still coming over today, but in a very different fashion. You know, it's more quietly epic. And there are different types of problems that arise. I mean, there's no processing center that you have to go through. It's less grand, as I said, but there are no less tragedies happening. And I think that the adjustment period, because the world is smaller and people, I think, keep more of one foot in their home country still, you know, where a lot of people who, when they came to America during the Ellis Island days, wanted to leave home behind and didn't have any, they changed their names even on the boat because they wanted a new life in a new country. Whereas I think today, people are content to live in the United States and they like it here, but they still very much associate with their original nationalities and have often left many family members behind, whereas again, and as you can see is the case in this movie, they've left someone behind, but in Ellis Island days, everybody came over together. And I think the comparison there is very interesting. So I like the idea of exploring that, but again, it's too bad that this just seems like such a rehash of The Blind Side, and I get that the focus is Reese Witherspoon's character. I don't see why they can't make a movie like this that focuses just on those characters who've immigrated. I believe Lupita Nyong'o is making a movie like this, where I think she's going to be the lead. I hope she's the lead. I hope some white person doesn't show up to help her. And I'm sure, of course, there are people who do help and facilitate all the red the red tape and the government paperwork that you need to do on your own, whereas when you just showed up at Ellis Island, you just had to answer some questions as best you could, and then you were done, and then you went on your way. But whereas now, you're kind of, have to navigate these waters yourself. And they're tricky for anyone to navigate, much less someone in a new country with a different language. But I like doing that, but I think that these people seem more like their main characters, but this film seems to also suffer from the problem that was behind $1 Million Arm, which also tried to copy a lot of The Blind Side. And whereas, again, the white character helping these immigrants out is the focus instead of the immigrants themselves. I felt that hurt $1 Million Arm, where they should have focused on the Indian players coming to the United States to play baseball. And here I feel this movie doesn't really need Reese Witherspoon. I'd be much more interested. And if you want to get maybe a movie star, maybe that's something they're worried about. Although too bad they didn't get Barkhead Abdi, Oscar winner. Not Oscar winner, Oscar nominee, but a lot of hype there. For him, he would be interesting to maybe be seen in this role. But there are other people that maybe someone they go to work for, maybe the landlord of the house they go to live in. They're obviously going to meet Americans when they show up here. Why can't it just be somebody they meet who's a friend? I guess Corey Stoll is kind of filling that role. I liked the talk about there are no lions here. I thought that was funny, and I thought, really crystallized the situation. So I thought that was good. But again, I would really prefer for not the people helping to be the lead characters, but the people in the struggle themselves. That always makes for the most compelling storytelling. But I do take heart in that immigrants to this country today are maybe getting a little bit more of a spotlight. For instance, I just saw a commercial recently for a new show on NBC, I believe it is, where there's a female police detective who loses her license or something. She can't drive. It's a little like Taxi, obviously, the European film that they remade with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon. But she gets a cab driver to help her in New York City to drive her around. And he's an immigrant. And I think, that's a very new type of character to see on network television. I think very exciting. So what do you think of this trailer? Do you agree with me that they should have focused on the people who are immigrating instead of Reese Witherspoon's character? Or do you understand where the movie's coming from? Do you think it's too much like The Blind Side? Or do you think that's great? You love The Blind Side. You'd love to see a redux. Write your thoughts down below. Thank you for tuning into my review, and you can check out some more episodes right now.